tell us a little bit about Nik and Ivy.
So we just hit our 3-year anniversary.
Terrific.
At the end of August. Just me and my wife that own it and run it. My wife's still a teacher, so
Excellent.
she does that full time, obviously. So
Oh, yeah.
kind of my thing that I do as like a full-time gig is run the brewery. We hired a brewer though, so like I said earlier, I'm not the master brewer.
Okay.
I was just kind of that guy that was like drunk and wanted to open a brewery one day, and I started like doing a little research and reading a book and listening to podcasts, and eventually, before I knew it, I was signing a lease, and the rest is
Wow,
history.
because a lot of guys I talk to, they started off as, they use the expression bathtub brewers.
Yeah.
And then they evolved into this. You kind of did your business plan right out of your head and go, I'm going to put some numbers together and do this.
Yeah, I didn't have any knowledge brewing myself, but I had run a business before.
Okay.
And a brewery's pretty, as opposed to like opening a restaurant or something like that, a brewery's
Very
pretty
similar?
simple.
Yeah.
Well, it's much more simple. Like, we don't have hard alcohol, we don't have wine, no food. All we serve is beer and like seltzer and ciders. So it's very, if you could pour a beer, you can work at a brewery bartending.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You don't have to have like a huge knowledge of cocktails and food menus and stuff like that.
And of course the brews you offer, and that brings us to today a little bit. What are you offering here at this Oktoberfest?
Yeah, so we're starting out with the Oktoberfest. It's it's obviously our Marzen for we're from Lockport, so it's that low-hanging.
Clever name, everybody. Good marketing.
Yeah, we had to take it. So anyway, so that we're almost out of.
Wow.
And then we'll have a Doppelbock go in that line afterwards. It's like 8%, so we'll see how much that goes. Delwood IPA is our house IPA.
Okay.
We've been developing the recipe for essentially, it was like 2.5 years until we kind of locked it into what we have it now.
Cool.
The Vanilla Cream Ale is another one of our mainstays. These are like our 2 flagships. 1853. The name comes from when the town of Lockport was incorporated, but it's also like right around the time the cream ale started being brewed, so we kind of took that.
Clever tie in there too.
Yeah. And then the Fat Mike is our Chicago lager.
Interesting name.
Yeah, it's an awesome can.
Okay, so you do some canning as well.
So yeah, we can. If you come into the brewery, every single beer on tap will be available in 16-ounce cans.
Wow.
So most of them are generic labels, like we just kind of like a Crowler label. But we wanted to do 4-packs as opposed to Crowlers.
No, that's a good quality aluminum can, I might add too, to keep your beverage in.
Yeah, for sure. So.
Okay. Again, I'm glad we caught up with you. I'd be remiss if I didn't say I love the logo too. It's a clever idea. Was that you have somebody do that, or your wife and I kind of threw that together? Or?
The logo was actually done by a girl that used to work for me at my old business.
Okay.
She had like her degree in it was a sales job. But
sort of graphic arts a little bit there.
So I told her I was doing this, and I remember her talking about
she
likes doing that kind of stuff, and she did it for a free hat. So thank you, Angie.
Angie, did you hear that? They're very grateful here.
Yeah, that was probably the cheapest thing we ever had to get done. was the logo. So yeah, we've stuck with it. It's the first one we had. And
it has good staying power, nice thick bonds.
It's nice and classic. So
anyhow, listen, thank you so much for stepping up. We're so glad we finally caught up with you.
Yeah.
And hats off. You guys do a great product, and you have a great booth going on here, and have a good fest.
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thanks
You bet. You bet. Bye now.
The Oktoberfest.
He's been telling that to everybody.
Watch an interview with LP Red.